Hey, I'm Shay and welcome back to my channel, Books with Shay. So it is later in the day that I'm starting this. You guys will have seen I got some ginger tea today and brewed it and then did not drink it because it smelled very strong of ginger and I'm not a huge ginger fan. I am definitely gonna try it, but it's called super ginger, like it's very ginger. So there's that. I just got done playing my first round of Dungeons and Dragons with LT and his group of friends, and it's so funny because I'm the only girl that's playing, but all of their characters are women. It's like this very odd dynamic, except for the one. So there's one male character, but there's actually only one female person playing. So it's fun to see just everybody like play their character and decide what they want to be, and it just, I don't know, I guess there has always been this stigma around Dungeons and Dragons for me, like going to high school and not knowing what it was, and there was a certain like type of person that played a game like that, but it actually really fits me as a reader because it's like a choose your own adventure story. And so I think it would be so fun to get a group of avid fantasy readers together and do a Dungeons and Dragons group, because I think it would be like crazy imaginative. Man, even fantasy authors, a group of fantasy authors playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons and doing like a podcast or something on it would be unreal. Okay, so LT just said Patrick Rothfuss plays Dungeons and Dragons, and I could totally see that because Patrick Rothfuss, actually, who wrote Name of the Wind, inspired my first Dungeons and Dragons character. So I'm a bard who plays a lute, just like Kavoth from Name of the Wind. So it is really, really fun, and I actually might talk a little bit more about it on here for you guys that I thought that I was the furthest removed or separated thing from Dungeons and Dragons that there could be, and now that I'm doing it as a reader, I'm like, man, fun bookish activities that I never knew could be so fun. If I got enough interest, I might even consider doing a Dungeons and Dragons group with a bunch of like subscribers, other readers, things like that. So if you guys would be interested in something like that, let me know down below. I don't know very much about it yet, so I'm not at the place where I could do that now, but it would just be so fun with a group of fantasy readers. So I am about to have something to eat. LT just went downstairs to grab it. We ordered in today, it's Sunday, and I'm sure you guys noticed we kind of eat out and order in quite a bit, and I try not to do it as much, but it's really hard to cook here because there's no kitchen. We just have the kitchenette, and so when it's something simple I can make it, but for the most part I have a really hard time making recipes here, so I don't really. So yeah, so we're gonna eat something. I'm gonna update you really quick on my reading. I'm still working on Winterwood by Shay Earnshaw. I was supposed to finish both that and the Starless Tea today. It is not gonna happen, so my winter read and cozy read are both gonna be Winterwood for the weekend cozy little readathon. So I'm gonna work on that in just a little bit. I think I'm actually going to cuddle up. I'm feeling like maybe turning on a Christmas movie or something while I eat and just hanging out. Like LT works really long hours when he's gone away to work, so in the last like 3 days he's been gone from sunup until literally like almost midnight, and so I haven't gotten to see him at all, so I kind of want to like spend time with him versus like escaping away into a book. So I'm gonna spend some time, we're gonna eat something, maybe watch a movie, and then I'm gonna try to set up a really cuddly, fun little space for me to work on reading Winterwood while he probably does something like plays League of Legends or, you know, does something that kind of decompresses him because he's had a long week. So I will check in with you guys in just a little bit. Oh, the other thing is I have not edited or posted the vlog for today yet. I'm thinking it will be up before midnight, but I decided that because I am putting the pressure on myself to do Vlogmas and to vlog every day until Christmas, 25 vlogs back to back, one every day, is a ton of work, and I was really being kind of hard on myself about getting them up at 9 o'clock in the morning every single morning, and I can see now at just over halfway through that that's not realistic or feasible for me, but giving you a vlog every day is. So I'm going to take that time constraint off of myself, but just make sure that I keep my goal to give you guys a vlog every day until Christmas. And so the one you get on Christmas Day will be the very last one of Vlogmas, and then I'll probably take a week-long break and see you guys in the new year. But yeah, so I'm gonna go and do those things, and I will check in with you guys in a little bit. Okay, welcome back. We're gonna do our Bookish unboxing for the day, and today I have a special guest, my husband.
Oh, am I supposed to say my name?
I think so.
LT?
Yeah.
Don't you say it? I don't, this is,
LT! Okay, so can you scoot up some so my head doesn't look so big?
I can like get real close.
No,
and your
no,
head
no.
will look real small.
No, no, no.
Okay.
We want you in the frame though. So, okay, so let's do our Bookish unboxing for the day. Somebody else left a suggestion today, and I was like, oh, that's so good, I love that one. Gone. 25 days of the reading, I don't know. So let's open this. This is shorter and pretty thin, and so my guess is, hold on, say it with me everyone, YA fantasy. Okay, let's get to unwrapping because I want to do a story time for you guys today because there's not a lot of footage otherwise, and I have a fun story that I want to tell you. This one is Red Under the Dust Jacket. I don't know what that accent was.
Red Under the Dust Jacket.
This is Red Under the Dust Jacket. I have no idea what that could be. Okay, so
What, you already have it?
I do. So this is the first time that we have a double up, but this is The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh, and I feel like it is only fitting that I had a double of this book because it's Olivia's favorite, and we stan Olivia in this house, so this is a double for Olivia, and also because I opened 2 books yesterday. If you watched yesterday's vlog, I accidentally got to open 2. I have not read this yet. I'm waiting for a very special vlog to read this in, which I had planned to do in November, and then I got sick and some things came up and I wasn't able to do it, so we're pushing that vlog I think to January. But anyway, so I'm reading this soon. I do already own a copy, but the copy that I own is the Book of the Month copy. Is the Book of the Month copy, and this one is even more beautiful. Okay, so we've inserted a new rule. As you can see from the edit, I probably edited a clip out in between. We've had a discussion. We have decided that because I opened one I already have, I get to open another one. This one is going back to the store, and he'll use this to buy another one. So I'll still end up with 25 books on my shelves versus just saying, oh no, I got a double, so you know, whatever. So he's gonna go wrap another one, and I'm going to tell you guys about my reading while he's gone. So today I worked on Winterwood by Shea Earnshaw some more. You guys know I've been working on this for days and days. Why I can't get through it is beyond me, because yesterday when I talked to you I was on page 106. Today when I'm talking to you I am on page 133. So I did just about no reading. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like I don't want to say it. Your girl might be in a slump. I hate that, but I read those 3 romances back to back, and I only liked one of them, and even the one I liked wasn't like, it was a 4-star read, but it wasn't like my favorite, you know what I mean? It was really good, so it got 4 stars, but it wasn't like quite what I was in the mood for, and so I think I'm in a slump. If I can't get through a 300-page like fantasy light, which is what I feel like Shea Earnshaw writes, like I don't know. In case you haven't guessed, that means I failed the Cozy Little Readathon, but I did have a really good day today doing things that we're not reading. I played Dungeons and Dragons, which I told you guys earlier, for the first time, and it was so fun. And then I played a bunch of Hearthstone, like against LT, like we played together, and we just laid in bed and cuddled and played a phone game against each other, and it was so nice to spend time with him because I missed him so much while he was at work, and I just love him so much, and it made my heart so full. So we're actually going to do a story time when he gets back down here so that you guys have some footage in today's vlog, but also because a lot of you guys are asking about how LT and I met and our story and all of that, and so we're not going to tell our whole story today. We're actually going to skip ahead to a more recent part, but I have a story about us that I think will be pretty enjoyable for you guys. So when he gets back down here, I'm going to open a new book. We're going to tell you a little bedtime story. I'm in my pajamas. If it's nighttime where you are, hop in your pajamas, grab a cup of hot tea, hot cocoa, you know, snuggle up with a snack, and we're going to tell you guys a story. But yeah, I'm gonna turn off the camera for a minute, wait for him to get back down here, and then we'll do all that. Okay, he's back.
Okay, I'm like 99% sure that you don't have this and that it's a book. So.
Good. The two things to be sure of. So we're gonna try again for our daily bookish unboxing. My guess for this is, I don't know, I'm gonna go with like YA fantasy since I usually don't.
This is like your favorite kind of fantasy, right? I haven't just been...
Yes! Question mark, question mark.
That's the part you always go to in Barnes & Noble, so.
It is. So it probably is my favorite kind of fantasy. I really love adult fantasy when I don't let myself get so intimidated before opening it that I can't read it. So when I actually like go and open it, I think I might like it more than YA fantasy, but it just intimidates me so. Okay, this one is teal. It's like tealish under the dust jacket, and I think I might know what this is, and I'm really excited, so I hope I haven't I hope it is what I think it is.
What do you think it is?
I think it is Thunderhead. So I'm hoping it is Thunderhead because then my Scythe collection is complete. But I don't know. Even if it isn't, I'll be very thankful for whatever I get. You know that.
Even if it's a duplicate.
Even if it's a duplicate. Yes, it is! Yay! I'm so excited. This is Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman, and I'm so jazzed to have this. I don't know where jazzed came from. Ooh. I'm super excited to have this because this completes my Scythe collection. So I had Scythe and I had the Toll because, like I told you guys in another vlog sometime, I ordered it on Owl Crate thinking I was totally gonna miss out on some really cool edition, and then it ended up being almost the exact same as, you know, the regular edition. But I had those, was missing this one. I love completing series on my shelves. It just makes my little bookish heart so happy. So now I need to read them, but I'm so excited. This was a good reopen. Way to go. Killing the game. Oh my goodness, we love to see it. So this is a very good book for the day. I'm so excited. The Scythe trilogy will be linked down below, just like every book that I've opened or spoken about in Vlogmas. Every day I just add to those links. So if I've talked about a book any day of Vlogmas, it is linked in my description below right now. So yes, there's this, and now we're gonna move on to our little story time, and then we're gonna do Where to Bear. So LT does not know what our story time is, but look at how handsome he is. I cut his hair today. So you guys leave a comment down below saying how good I am at cutting hair and that he just looks so handsome. Good. So our story time that we're gonna do today is the real, uncut story of how we got engaged. Now, the reason why, so I told you guys I was gonna skip ahead in our story a little bit to a more recent story. I want to have this on video because I want to remember this forever, even when the details start to get a little fuzzy, number one. So that's one reason I'm doing this. Number two, you guys ask me all the time. Every day I get a comment about learning more about LT and I's relationship and how we met and all of that. So this is good for that. And then number three, because we've told this story a lot to friends and family and acquaintances and things like that, but we normally tell a short, glossy, perfect version. We don't usually tell the version where every single thing falls apart and it still ends up being the most perfect day ever. So you guys, there are family and friends that have not even heard this story this completely, and you guys are gonna get the full story start to finish. So welcome to our family. I'm so excited to tell you. So we're gonna tell it in tandem because I think that's the most exciting way to do it, because you get to hear what I'm thinking and what LT was thinking. But I'm gonna start out. So this was on November the 18th of 2017.
It's like,
this was November 18th, 2017. We got married on November 18th, 2018, exactly 1 year after, which is why I was like, which year? But yeah, so 2017, November 18th. It is 5 o'clock in the morning. If you guys know me at all personally, you will know that I am not a morning person. So LT wakes me up at 5 o'clock in the morning and he asks me, he says the magic words. Like, if you just want to make me absolutely swoon, the magic words are,
Do you want to go on an adventure?
yeah, the magic words are, do you want to go on an adventure? Good morning. It's 5:26 a.m. LT is at my apartment. He just woke me up and gave me this card that says we're gonna go on an adventure. I'll read it to you. It says, I know I've made you wait a while. You might consider me a bencher. I just wasn't quite done with my compile. Are you up for an adventure? And so we're going on an adventure, it appears. So I'm going to try to vlog the day because I feel like if you're ever gonna vlog a day, it should be one where you wake up at 5:30 with a card that says, do you want to go on an adventure? So I have until 6 a.m. to be ready to go, and so I'm gonna go take a quick shower, change my clothes, and we shall see what the day has in store. Yay. So he wakes me up at 5 a.m., says, do you want to go on an adventure? The magic words kind of outweigh the exhaustion that I'm feeling. And I say, of course I do. What should I wear? And at this point, I do have to say, I had no idea. We had obviously talked about marriage. People say, I hope I'm completely surprised when my significant other proposes. And I will tell you, that's not usually a great idea.
Don't do that.
Like, it's really important that you and your significant other are on the same page about marriage, that you guys have talked about it, that you have worked through what marriage looks like to each of you, what your roles are going to be in marriage, things like that. You should know it's coming to some degree because you should have both had the conversation that you are ready for it to occur, in my opinion. Obviously, you do you. I can't live your life for you or tell you what to do in your relationships, but in my experience, that works very well to have everything out on the table. So we had spoken about marriage at length. I knew what kind of ring I wanted, so I had talked to him about the ring that I wanted. There was a just super expensive Harry Winston ring that I was in love with. I'll insert a picture of it somewhere for you guys to see. And so I had told him that, yeah, we're not wearing our rings. And I had told him that I really, really wanted it, but I didn't want him to get that specific ring because it was the price of a house and it just wasn't, that was not in the budget for us. So anyway, I knew it was coming at some point, but I didn't know it was coming the day that it happened because my birthday is November 28th. And like I just said, we got engaged on the 18th. And so I was pretty sure he was going to propose on my birthday, to the point that my best friend asked me to go with her to get my nails done. And I told her, no, like I don't need to get my nails done. I'm not gonna do it. His mom asked me to go with her to get my nails done. I've never been to the nail salon with his mother, so I was like, no. And then his sister asked me. I have never been to the nail salon with his sister, and I was like, why does everyone want me to get my nails done? Leave me alone. Should have been a red flag that like proposal was coming. Didn't even think anything of it. I was busy. It was around Thanksgiving at the time, so my mind was other places, and I did not know it was coming. Anyway, back into the story. Wakes me up at 5 a.m. says, do you want to go on an adventure? I say, absolutely I do. I ask him, what should I wear? This is important. Dog ear this. Because I asked him what should I wear, and what did you tell me?
Just be comfortable.
So he says just be comfortable. I'm in Texas. It is November, but like at the time, but in Texas it was pretty warm. So I wore a little sundress that had these like cold shoulder sleeves on it. And then I wore my little Birkenstock sandals that I had. And I was cute-ish, not like super cute, but like casual cute and comfortable, but in sandals and a sundress in November. Okay, it is 6 o'clock on the dot, which I don't know that I've ever been on time for anything in my life. So as you can tell, I'm pretty excited. It's kind of dark. So there's a new development, well for me anyway. I'm sure it's not new for LT. If it is, I'm a little scared, but LT's back here and he has bags. There are bags. We're leaving my apartment right now. That's why it's so dark. And I have no idea what I'm thinking or feeling. I kind of feel like he's playing a mean trick on me. Like, so we are going to go get in the car, I guess. We go down to the car and I'm trying to figure out where we're going. Go ahead.
I had written out little prompts for like a scavenger hunt.
Yes, so I had been saying for forever that I wanted to get engaged via scavenger hunt. I had been saying that for years and years and years, and so I was pleasantly surprised when he pulled out a clue. We're in the car and we are writing, and I pull out a clue, and if I have pictures, I think I have some footage of me reading clues and things like that, so if I have those, I'll insert them when we get to that part of the story. Okay, so we are in the car and it looks like we're getting close to the airport, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe we're not getting close to the airport. Maybe we're not at the airport at all. I have no idea what's happening. So, but I do have a second envelope here, and I'm going to open it per the instructions of Eltinius Maximus. The card says, "The great Sinatra said it best when writing that keen lyric, 'Come fly with me, we'll leave the rest, but we're staying hemispheric.'" Okay, this is a good rhyme. So we're staying in the northwestern hemisphere, but we are getting on a plane, which is shocking to me, actually. But I opened the first clue. It says something about there. I remember "Fly Me to the Moon" being in there, like some Frank Sinatra lyrics.
I am not good at like rhyming or like these were the lamest clues. She's like, "We're going to the moon." Like what? They were the worst, and I was like writing them furiously the night before.
I thought they were really cute.
Okay, well, I mean.
So you had all the scavenger, like the scavenger hunt stops planned, but you hadn't like tied them together with the.
Right. Well, yeah, I'd been trying to work on it for a while, but I just couldn't think of like rhymes and stuff. So I was like.
We get to the airport and I'm like, okay, we're going somewhere. I did not know where, but so he let me check in for our flight. He asked me to guess where we were going. I guessed a bunch of places. I was wrong about all of them. And so I check us in, and it shows that we are going to, where are we going?
Utah.
We're going to New York. Oh my gosh. I like literally can't believe, like I'm still in shock. So once we get there, I might cry or scream, or I don't know. This is a place I've wanted to go my whole life that I've never gotten to go, so I'm flipping out. And I was so excited because I had never been to New York. I'm a theater girl through and through, so I like had been dreaming of Broadway my entire life. Since I found out what it was, Broadway was like what I had been dreaming of. So we get on the plane, we fly to New York, and it's a pretty uneventful flight. I get a clue on the plane. It says something like that's equivalent to something about having breakfast at Tiffany's. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It was just about having breakfast. I'm gonna open clue 3. Now we've landed, and though it's late, this is what I've rented for breakfast.
Sí, claro, no, está bien, está bien.
Déjame ver qué hago, porque yo
ya me he hecho la pelota tiene la fecha de ellos ahorita, ¿no? Entonces,
so something about having breakfast. So, see, we already don't remember all the details. So, yeah, I'm excited. We land, we get off the plane. I'm freaking out because I'm gonna get to ride in a yellow taxi cab. And I had never been in a yellow taxi, and I was like, oh my gosh, yellow taxi. If you'll remember from the very beginning, I'm in a sundress and sandals, and it is November in New York, so it is freezing, and not just
40s or 30s or something.
It was 30s, and not only is it freezing, but also it is like the air is very moist. There's a lot of moisture in the air, so I'm like, is it gonna rain? Like, what is gonna happen? And so anyway, we're standing out there, and LT is like, do you wanna, I think this is when, I don't know, this might be when I open the clue, I'm not sure, but so I'm freezing, he's freezing, but he of course packed himself a coat.
Yeah.
Pro tip, y'all, if you're using this as like a way to propose to your significant other, pack a coat for them. So we finally get up to the front of the queue to get our yellow taxi. We get in the taxi. I am like, oh my gosh, yellow taxi. I take a deep breath in, just excited, you know, to smell the New York air, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this taxi cab reeks of BO. And I was like, oh Oh my goodness. I thought it was gonna be magical and smell like sugar plum fairies, and it did not. And I was very, like, it was a rude awakening. And I was like, there's something wrong with our cab. And he was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, do they all smell like this? He's like, oh yeah, pretty much. Yeah. They pretty much all smell like this. So we got into a lovely smelling cab in New York, and it took us to a awesome little bakery called Supermoon. I will insert footage and pictures of that here. We're at Bite Me MIC, and we just got our breakfast, our late breakfast, and I am opening clue number 4. Now that's obtained, our breakfast for 2 will be sustained while looking at clue. Are you gonna do this? Are you gonna do this? So we get to Supermoon, and it's like a very trendy, modern bakery. And so instead of having like a menu that you look at, they have one sample of each food that they serve sitting on a black countertop with a name that's very hipster, like the mustache. And you're like, what's my camera overheated, we got cut off, but we were talking about the mustache, and so we're gonna pick back up right there. So anyway, so they just had really hipster names, but nothing said, it didn't say what was in them. So I pointed to the one that I thought that I wanted. LT picked the one he thought he wanted, and they were like, you have to order 5 to get the holographic box. And we're like, we found out later, by the way, that you can buy the holographic box for $5, and the pastries cost more than that per each. So we spent like 25 bucks on pastries for no flipping reason, but we picked the ones we wanted, we put them in a box. The one I was most excited about was an everything flavored croissant. So I was like, this is gonna be chef's kiss, and I can't wait to eat it. So we get our little box of goodies. LT gives me the next clue, and the clue says something that lets me know that we're gonna go have breakfast at Tiffany's. At the time, Breakfast at Tiffany's was my very favorite movie. It's still one of my favorite movies of all time.
So I've never seen Breakfast at Tiffany's, so when I was planning this whole thing, I was like, okay, cool. So I'll just call up Tiffany's and like make some reservations at the restaurant they have there. Because obviously that's what Breakfast at Tiffany's means. No, she ate outside for like one scene at the beginning of the movie, and that's Breakfast at Tiffany's. The whole movie is based on she ate like a croissant, like right outside the front window, just looking at stuff.
I was excited. Now, also, if you've seen Breakfast at Tiffany's, there are no people on those streets. Like, it's literally just her and a croissant. So I was very disillusioned with what Breakfast at Tiffany's was gonna be like. And now looking back at it, like, I can't believe how, I don't know. Anyways, we walked our happy little behinds from the bakery over to Tiffany's, and we're on the Upper East Side at this point, so everything is super swanky, fancy, you know. And LT's like, let me get a video of you. If I can find the video, I will insert the clip right after this. But he's like, let me get a video of having breakfast at Tiffany's. And I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, I'm gonna have breakfast at Tiffany's. So I pull out my delicious, flaky, amazing, everything croissant.
I want to interject here. We haven't eaten yet today.
Right. So
this will be our first meal for the day.
And at this point, we woke up at 5 a.m. so already, and by this time it's probably close to 11 o'clock in the morning. By the time we got to the airport, waited for our flight, caught our flight, made it to New York, got the cab to the bakery, got the baked goods, and got to Tiffany's. It's been like 6 hours that we've been up for the day. So I pulled the croissant out of the box. LT pulls out the camera and is like, okay, baby, take a bite. And I take a bite, big honking bite of my croissant. I really hope I can find the video so I can insert it for you guys. Take a huge bite, and I immediately am like, and LT's like, take another bite. And I'm like, no, thank you. Like trying to get it, I'm like, cut the camera. Like, so I guess it was supposed to be a lox and cream cheese type filled bagel, which if you guys know what lox is, it's smoked salmon, but the way that they smoke the salmon makes it come across as raw. And this one was a slightly smoked, like they blew some smoke on it, but that was it. It was textured like thick raw salmon. It was, if you, also something to know about lox is that it's usually very thin sliced, and I think that probably helps with the texture. This was a honkin' piece of like not cooked salmon. So I like sushi, but I do the rolls. I don't eat the raw fish. I don't do like sashimi or anything. So the raw fish thing was too much for me, but I'm on video and I'm on a surprise trip to New York, so I'm trying to enjoy every moment, but I'm like having a very hard time because I have a giant piece of like raw salmon in my mouth. So he finally stops recording. We take bites of everything in the box, and everything sucks. It's like,
yeah, it's horrible.
The worst bakery experience we've ever had in life.
Really cool box.
Yeah.
Everything was horrible.
Amazing box. Food was like not great. So LT's like, okay. So I'm like not doing great so far. So he gives me the next clue. I just finished having breakfast at Tiffany's and I'm on clue number 5. A wee bit chilly. We're not in Texas anymore. I know that shopping is your cup of tea, so that's why I set up this upcoming spree. What? And I open the clue and it says something about like him knowing how much I love shopping, so we're going on a shopping spree. And I'm like, a shopping spree in New York City? Holy crap. So at this point, he's like, so where do you want to go? And we're in the Upper East Side, so on like 5th Avenue, I think is where we are. And so there's like a Louis Vuitton, a Chanel, a Gucci, a Prada, like we're right next to Tiffany's, and I'm looking around like, anywhere? Or like, whoa, shopping spree, like what do you mean? And so he's like, I don't know, just anywhere. And so I'm trying to figure out where we're gonna go shopping, and it starts raining. So we're standing in like, and also like I'm expecting this really beautiful moment at Tiffany's where I'm like by myself eating my croissant. There are people like shoving past me, like don't stop on the sidewalk to have your moment, like move. And so yeah, I'm like wanting to cry just a little bit at this point because my perfect breakfast at Tiffany's moment has been a little ruined by a nasty croissant and a nasty group of people trying to push past on the sidewalk, and now it's raining. Also, like if you're from New York, this, no offense to you at all, obviously. We decide basically that the closest place that we can go is Bloomingdale's. That might have what we need, because basically what he is telling me to shop for is an outfit for tonight, because he did not pack bags. I want you to know.
She's like, so I could get like a Louis Vuitton? And I was like, yeah, I didn't bring you any clothes because I was thinking that.
So he's like, you could spend your whole shopping spree budget on a Louis Vuitton, but you ain't got a jacket, so you might want to
you probably should get some
reallocate. You can get one little coin purse from Louis Vuitton, or you can actually get some clothes. So he's like, you probably need to get something to wear tonight because I didn't pack any clothes. So we go to Bloomingdale's and we walk in, and this is going to be probably the most real part of the video right here. So if you are a fellow plus sized, you know, I like still struggle to say the word fat in relation to myself, but if you are a fat chick like me, then like you will identify with this. So we walk into Bloomingdale's and we ask them where their plus size section is. And they're like, it's all the way on the top floor back in the corner. So we're walking around for quite a while trying to find the plus size section in Bloomingdale's, and we can't find it. And finally, long story short, we find the plus size section, and it's all things that literally my grandmother would not wear. They are too mature for my grandmother. It wasn't good. It was not a good selection. And on top of that, even in the things that they did have, like they weren't in my size. So I was about to end up in a muumuu in 2 sizes too small, and I was like really, really sad. So we left Bloomingdale's. I'm feeling very discouraged, and so we're in the cab trying to he's like, okay, let's try somewhere else. So we decide we're gonna try Macy's. We get in the cab to try to make it to Macy's. I break down into tears, and I'm like, I'm so fat, and I'm like losing my mind, and he's like, there, and like doesn't know how to comfort me, because it's not something that he could have even foreseen being an issue. He didn't think about the fact, like when he sees me, he's not like, oh, she's a fat girl, so I definitely need to make sure that I think about that when I'm planning out shopping trips or whatever the case may be. Like, especially at that stage in our relationship, now that we're married and we shop for my clothes together more often than we were when we were just dating, he has a better understanding, but he didn't know. There was no way for him to know. So I'm sobbing in this cab on the way to Macy's, and he's like, oh my goodness, I didn't pack her a jacket. The pastry sucked. Breakfast at Tiffany's did not go the way we planned. It is raining. Like, Bloomingdale's didn't work out. I told her to go on the shopping spree, but I didn't think about the fact that we were in the area with like 50 million stores where you need to spend $50 million to get anything. He's like, it's not working out the way I thought. So we pull up to Macy's and I'm like, okay. So at this point, I'm not 100% sure that we're gonna get engaged. Even though I have gotten my nails done, even though he has woken me up in the middle of the night and taken me, or 5 a.m. is the middle of the night, has woken me up super early to take me to New York. We are adventurers. We often take each other on like not surprise trips all the time, but we take each other to do surprise things, and we're always trying to one up the other person. And so like he had a birthday where I took him to Vegas for literally like 5 hours. Like we flew out at 8 p.m, flew back in at like 2 a.m. So I like just took him to go see a Cirque du Soleil show and play some penny slots, and we came on back. So
awesome.
Like we do things like that for each other enough that I wasn't like, this definitely is the proposal. But I'm like, so otherwise I think maybe I would have, I don't know, acted differently. Like maybe I would have tried to be more in the moment of like, this is the day I'm getting engaged, but I wasn't there. So anyway, so we get to Macy's and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get it together. I'm not gonna cry. You're in New York. You get to go shopping. Even if you can't find your size here, it's New York City. There has to be some place that's carrying plus size clothes. I'm sure plus size people live here. It will be fine. You will be fine. So we get into Macy's and I take a deep breath and I'm like, oh my goodness, we're in the New York Macy's. Like, this is exciting. I inhale, I exhale, I center myself, and LT says to me,
just so you know, running a little late. We need to be at dinner in like 30 minutes.
No, it's a hotel. Like we need to be at the hotel
in like 30 minutes, and it's 45 minutes away.
Yeah, so I think it was 20 minutes. Like, yeah, we had walked into the front doors of Macy's and he was like, you need to, don't panic, like not to alarm you.
It's going to be okay.
But we need to be at the hotel in, I think it was 20 minutes, and it's 30 minutes away. So just as quickly as you can, try to find something. So I feel like this would be like the scene like from Home Alone where they're running through the airport and Run Run Rudolph starts playing. Like at this point in our journey, Run Run Rudolph has started playing in my head, and I'm like a merry-go-round, like trying to get up to the plus size section as quickly as I can. So we're asking people, they're pointing us to the plus size section, and thankfully Macy's had a phenomenal plus size section, and it was awesome because we were really able to find some things there. So I pick out some formal dresses. He says dinner is going to be pretty nice, so I need to pick something pretty nice. So I'm picking out some formal dresses and some other little things to try on. And there's like a circle room, like right outside the fitting rooms, which one side is mirrors, and then there are like 8 chairs right there where people can sit and watch you try on things. And there are 8 women that are sitting there, older women.
Who were they even waiting on?
And I don't know who they were waiting on. I have no idea. Maybe somebody was shopping around the store and that's just the only place to sit. I don't know. But there were like 8 older women sitting there. Maybe they were together just looking for a place to sit.
Hanging out.
I don't know.
It's like a book club.
But I go back and I put on a formal kind of dress, and I don't like the way that it fits me. I feel like it's clinging to the wrong areas. I'm already feeling like a cow, like because of not being able to find anything in Bloomingdale's and not being able to shop at a straight size store. And so I'm having a really hard time. I put it on, but LT has asked me, please show me what you put on. I want to see it. And he knows where we're going and I don't know where we're going. So I'm like, I need to show him. So I walk out and everybody is like, oh my goodness, you look so beautiful. And I don't feel like I look so beautiful. And I'm like, that's so nice of them, like to gas me up like that. So I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And so I go back in and I change and I put on a different outfit, and I feel like myself in this outfit. It is a big kind of fluffy tutu skirt with a beautifully embellished top and a leather jacket with floral embroidery down the arms and on the back and stuff. And I feel like just bad in this outfit. Like I'm like, this is it. I love it. So I walk out and LT is like, I love that. And I'm like, I love that. And the 8 ladies are like,
that's not very flattering. That tutu makes you look kind of fluffy.
and I'm like, why? Like, when does that happen? When does a stranger feel the need to tell you that you look fluffy? I don't know. So I'm like frustrated at that point because I really like this outfit, but somebody has now told me that I don't look great in it. But LT's like, I just want to remind you, we have no time. And so I'm like,
she looked really good at it.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
Did.
This person didn't know what they were talking about.
And I'll insert, you'll see pictures and video of me in this outfit. So I really loved it. I thought I ended up looking great. It was fantastic. So we get that outfit. LT's like, you need to get some shoes because you cannot wear the sandals you're wearing. So you've got to buy some shoes. So I'm running down to get some shoes while LT is checking out with my outfit. We get everything, including the jacket for me to put on. So I put on the jacket and we go out to try to hail a cab to get to the hotel. It was the great cab debacle of 2017. We could not hail a cab to save our lives. We tried Uber. We tried waving down one in the street like they do in the movies. Didn't work. Like, we tried absolutely everything to get a cab, and 20 minutes later we finally get into an Uber. And so we get in the Uber and LT is like, we're really behind, so like when we get to the hotel you're gonna have next to no time to get ready. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'll just do my makeup in this dark cab to save
with no mirror
time. So I am doing my makeup in the cab with no mirror. I know where my eyes are and stuff, you know. And so I put on my foundation and I'm doing just like a quick liner and I'm smoking it out a little bit and doing some mascara and stuff, and I'm doing blush and I'm doing blush and I am doing blush like that. Just I don't know, I'm doing my blush. So we get, the funniest part to me I think is that I talked to the concierge that way and had no idea. So my makeup is done, we get to the hotel, we get out and the concierge is like, welcome to the hotel.
The gym is on the 3rd level.
Room service is open until...
I was like, look, lady, look, I really appreciate it. We're in a super hurry. If you could give us the express check-in, that would be great. We'll be on our way.
And she was like, perfect. Here's your key, sign here, go. And so we take off running towards the elevator, get in the elevator, head upstairs. We have our bags or whatever. We open the hotel room door. I'm like, this hotel is so lovely. And I walk past the mirror and I'm like, and I'm like, oh no, my face. So I'm like, trying to rub makeup off of my face because I had put on all the blush in the whole palette. Like, I don't know what I was thinking or what happened, but literally when I saw myself I was like, oh no. And so I'm trying really hard to get the makeup off my face, change my clothes or whatever, and I only get the chance to curl like the front of my hair. And I will insert a picture of what the back of my hair looked like because we have pictures of it, believe it or not. But it's raining outside and my, you know, black girl hair is not, it isn't doing the humidity. Like, it's not happening for me.
Should got you a hat.
So I know, we should have gotten me a hat. That's how bad it was. So I get changed as quickly as I can, get my makeup like kind of, I get it good. And then we go out into the hallway. LT gives me another clue. I'm pretty sure I have a video of this, so I'll put a video in of me opening the clue. We started out 40 minutes ahead of schedule. Now we're 30 minutes behind schedule. And we're at the hotel getting ready to go to dinner, I think, and I'm gonna open card number 7. Okay, it says, all dolled up, you look like a queen. How did you know I would look like a queen? How, like... Oh, thank you. All dolled up, you look like a queen. Shall we make our way to the green? The green. Is that what it's called? I don't know what it, like... Okay, we're going to the green, I guess. And as you guys may have just seen, I don't know what all the video says, but he's like, we're going to Tavern on the Green. And I'm like, what is that?
Very good.
And LT's like, It's really hard to get reservations there. It's the restaurant in Central Park. It's really famous. Haven't heard of it? Okay, great. I worked really hard to, it's fine. You know, it doesn't matter. It's fine. It'll be fine. Let's just
Could have
go.
gone to Burger King. Sweet. Okay.
So we leave the hotel and we decide that we're going to walk to the restaurant. Oh, the mistakes we make, you know? So we're trucking it and it starts raining again. So my hair is now like business in the front, full on party in the back. And we get to Tavern on the Green and there are two gentlemen in top hats and they pull open the doors at the same time. And I walk in feeling like royalty, and LT goes to tell them our names and we're about an hour late for the dinner reservation at this time. And then he looks at his watch and he's like, we actually need to leave in like 5 minutes to be on time to the next thing. And we can't be late, and so we turn right back around and the two nice gentlemen in the top hats open the doors again and we miss our dinner reservation and don't get to have Tavern on the Green.
Still haven't eaten today.
Right, so we had the one bite of the terrible croissant. You had one bite of the pastry.
Yeah, it was really terrible too.
So everything was, but we've had essentially no food at this point. I'm sure you guys have heard me say I get hangry, real hangry, and so between the clown makeup and the shopping excursion where we had no time and the skipping of dinner, at this point I am struggle busing, like just really struggling. So we catch a cab to go to the next place. We get to the next place, we get out and we're at an apartment building. And we walk inside and we go up the escalator and LT's like,
hold on a second.
Like, this,
I'll be right back.
this isn't right. So he's like, if you could just go back down, just hop on the, like he puts me on the elevator and I ride back down the super long elevator alone. Escalator. Yeah. The super long escalator alone. And he goes to talk to the people at the counter and he's like, oh, okay, it's around the corner. So we walk out of the apartment building and we walk around the corner and like I am getting teary now. And we are on Broadway. Like, oh man.
I missed the whole damn street.
I feel
like this apartment. I was like, this apartment building doesn't look like Broadway Street. So I don't know what's happening.
So there are all these lights and there's Times Square and there are like, my breath is taken away. I'm like, this is the New York of my dreams. Like, this is what I pictured and I am breathless. Like, and so we walk down and I'm like, I wonder if we're gonna get to see a Broadway show, and LT is like, right this way. His chest is all puffed up. He's like, I did a good thing, because at this point he has seen my face and he knows no matter what else happened the rest of the day, he did the thing at this point. So he opens the door to the Broadway theater and we are going to go see The Lion King. And The Lion King had been my favorite movie since I was just a little kid. My mom was like, we watched The Lion King so many times when you were a kid that I knew all the words. Like, it was the movie that I watched until the VHS tape would not play anymore. And so I was always obsessed with The Lion King, and The Lion King was the thing I wanted to see the most on Broadway, and so I was like in shock that we were gonna go to The Lion King. His chest is puffed up. We're walking up to the will call and he's like, Stephen Lawrence. I don't know if you guys knew.
That's my real name. So what a way to find out.
You guys knew that, but anyway, so now you probably have a lot of questions about LT, but anyway, so he's like, you know, Stephen, Vertu, and they are looking through and they're like, Barbara,
do you have a Stephen?
Do you have a Stephen? I don't have a Stephen. I'm sorry, there's no Stephen Lawrence. And LT just deflates like a balloon.
No. I pulled my phone up and I was like, look, it's right here. I have 1% at this point. I'm like, you're going to give us these tickets. They're like, oh, okay, that's a third-party ticketer. So you're going to find them outside and they're going to be wearing a yellow shirt. Just find them and they'll give you your tickets. I was like, okay.
So they're like, just look for the guys in the yellow shirt. No matter what else happens, you find the guy in the yellow shirt, right? So we walk outside, LT has 1%. So I don't have any of the ticket information, the confirmation numbers, I don't have any of that because obviously this is all a surprise to me. So we walk outside, walk up and down the street looking for the guy in the yellow shirt. We cannot find him for an extended period of time. It's like 20, 30 minutes that we're looking for this guy and we cannot find the guy in the yellow shirt.
Walking up to random people in yellow shirts that obviously don't have tickets, and
we're just like, please, are you...
Do you happen to have tickets to this?
So finally, LT's like, I'm gonna try to call him, which we were really trying not to do because he has 1% at this point and we don't want his phone to die because he has all the confirmation numbers and stuff, and what if the guy needs a confirmation number? But he's like, at this point, calling him is the best thing to do because otherwise we'll just miss out on the musical completely. Let me call him. So he calls him, and as his phone is ringing, we see a guy like across the street picking up and looking at his phone like he's getting a call, and he looks to have some kind of logo happening on his shirt. So we walk up to him and we're like, do you happen to be the guy, you know? And he's like, yes, I'm the guy.
He was not wearing a yellow shirt.
He was wearing a white shirt.
He was wearing a white shirt. He's like, oh, we just got new shirts today.
He's
like in a schmedium. He's at least should be like a 2XL. This guy was smashed into the shirt. It was not comfortable for anyone.
He's like, I just need your confirmation number. LT's clicking through trying to find it before his phone dies. We get the tickets and we walk back to the theater, and the whole time I'm just praying like, Lord Jesus, please let these tickets work. Like, we just had to meet a guy on a corner.
Got swindled.
Like, let's hope that these tickets work. So we walk up, we walk through, the tickets work, and the lady is like, you know, hyping up the Broadway experience, and she's like, right this way to the theater and everything. And we're like, look lady, where are the concessions?
We're hungry.
We're so hungry. And she's like, oh, the concessions are right up this way, and she shows us where they are. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a Broadway musical. I've only been to the one, so I don't know if they're all like this, but they had juice, beer, and chips. That was
like the most
just about
little depressing can of Pringles. It's like this big. It's got like 5 in them.
Like, so we are like, I'll take a juice, I'll take a beer.
I need a beer.
And like just every bag of chips that you have, give us 2 of everything. So they give us 2 of like 5 different flavors of chips, and then me a cup of juice and him his beer. And at this point we're late because we've been outside on the sidewalk looking for the guy with the tickets. And so we walk into the theater. LT has no idea what seats he's purchased. He's never purchased seats for a Broadway play before or anything like that. And so we're in like double Z is like our seat. So
and
we're like
the middle of the row in double Z.
We're like the very middle of the row in double Z. So we, with our armful like of snacks and our cup of juice, are like, excuse me, pardon me.
Everyone's
excuse
already
me, pardon
sitting
me.
down.
Excuse me, pardon me. We're in like 26 or something. So we have to pass like 25 people to get to where we are. Excuse me, pardon me. Shimmying down with our snacks. Excuse me, pardon me. Trying to get down there. So we get down there and we sit in our seats and we're like, oh my gosh. So we open our chips and we're like, nom, 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 nom.
People everywhere around us are like, what the hell are these people? What's wrong?
And so we're like trying to get in as much as we can before the musical starts because we don't want to be loud, and it's chips and crinkly paper and everything. I don't know, like that's the worst snack to have at a Broadway musical. But anyway, then the lights dim and the first note of this musical starts. Oh my gosh, so Rafiki comes out and sings the first note, and at that moment, y'all, at that very moment in time, I'm like, I'm getting engaged today. This is the day that I'm getting proposed to. It hits me. Like, it was the first time I think we had stopped and sat down all day.
Yeah.
So I don't think I had time to process like what might be happening or anything like that. So we stopped and I'm like, he's gonna propose to me. Like, we're getting engaged today. And that made me very emotional. And so I burst into tears. And I'm not talking about like cute, like a tear falls, like, oh my God, I'm getting engaged. Like, no, I ugly cry. And so they're in the back, you know, pink pajamas, penguins on your mama. And I'm like, like sobbing.
Again, everyone's like,
and everyone is looking down the row at me. And of course, your girl is emotional, but she is also hungry. So I'm like, like crunching chips, sobbing. It's a whole mess. And so we get to intermission, we throw our chip trash away. I'm finally getting myself together, but I cried for the first 40 minutes of The Lion King. I sob ugly cried for the first 40 minutes of the musical. Like, I wish I could refund the people who had to sit next to us. Like, for goodness sake, you know what I mean? So it's intermission. I have to go to the bathroom, so I run up to go to the bathroom. I'm in a big fluffy tulle skirt. I try to take my skirt down. It falls into the toilet. So I am like, oh my gosh. So I wring out, the toilet was clean. It wasn't like, you know, I mean, it was as clean as in New York. Anyway, so I take it out and I bring it out and I'm in there under the hand dryer like, oh my gosh, dry my skirt, please dry my skirt. It was a whole mess. So we go back, sit down, finish the musical, and it was everything I could have dreamed of and more. And I'm feeling really like attached to LT at this point. Like, I'm like, I know he's just my boyfriend now, but in like 5 minutes he's gonna be my fiance, right? So
she's like, are they gonna call us up on stage? Or like, trying to figure out how I'm gonna do it now that she's savvy to what's happening.
Like, so we leave the theater after the musical and he's like, I need to stop by the hotel for just a minute and charge my phone because I need it for directions to where we're going. And so I'm like, okay, this will be the perfect time for me to like tame the nest that's happening in the back of my hand. So we go to the hotel room and LT charges his phone for a minute and gets it up and running and he's like, I'm ready to go. And I'm like, just a minute, I'm curling my hair. So I'm like taking my time, like trying to curl my hair. And I get the front of it recurled on this side and the front of it recurled on this side. And he's like, we have to go right now.
Girl, we ain't got time, come on.
So I still have a rat's nest in the back of my head. So we go and I get another clue and we start the walk down to Central Park. Now, by this point, it's 11 o'clock at night and I still effectively have not eaten. I've had chips and same with LT. And we've had a long day, so everybody is tired and there's a lot going on. But we make the trek down to Central Park and LT is like, let's talk, let's have a discussion. Let's like, you know,
Connect.
And so he's like, how was today? And I was like, oh, it was really good and everything. I really love the Broadway musical. What was your favorite part? And he's like,
I was like,
looking at his phone.
Right.
And I'm like,
of course.
Okay. And he's like, do you think we should turn left or right? I'm like, oh, there are some beautiful lights to the left. Let's go that way. And he's like, no, actually we're going right.
We need to actually go. So I was kind of lost at this point. And I don't know if y'all been to Central Park in the middle of the night, but 2 words, murder hope. Because like they're all over the place.
So he's lost. It's dark. We're in Central Park. It's the middle of the night. At this point, the soundtrack to our night has become the Law and Order theme song. It's like dun, 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 dun. That's what we're walking through Central Park too. Like, if you could have done anything differently, what would you have done? And I'm like, actually, nothing. It's been pretty good. Like, we had some highs and lows, but it was fun because we were together.
Maybe bring a jacket.
I'm like, what would you have done differently? He's like, and I'm like, what? Like, and so then I stopped to like really look at him and I realized he's like sweating. It's cold outside. He's like sweating and clammy. He's not acting like himself. He's getting super nervous. And so I start to become really concerned that he's sick because I'm an idiot. Like, I don't know. Because obviously,
was it the chips?
I had come to terms with the fact that I was getting proposed to that night, so I don't know why I like automatically go to he's sick. So I'm like, oh my god, like he's sick. I need to take care of him. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like,
I'm like, fine. I need to
trying to see where we're going. So finally we get to this beautiful bridge. It's called Gapstow Bridge. And we get there and there are these beautiful candles set up in a heart shape. I'll insert some pictures and some video footage as I go through this part of the story. But there's some beautiful candles set up in a heart shape and I'm like, oh my god. Look what someone did for someone else.
She's like, we have to turn around. We can't mess that up.
I'm like, we can't walk through there. What if they walk up?
I was like, get in the damn candles. Get in there.
He's like, if you don't get in that damn circle, like, it's a heart. Like, he's like, go stand in there. Because at this point, like, we've been through a lot. So I get in the middle of the heart. LT gets down on one knee and proposes. I'm going to insert all kinds of footage of that here.
She gets down on one knee and proposes.
He goes down to get on one knee. I go down with him like, oh, we're going down now. We're going down. So like we both go down.
You stand up.
I think you might be able to see in the video. I go down. He tries to stand up. I stand up. He goes down. I go back down. So it's like a whole thing. And then finally he's able to get down on one knee and propose. And there's like a photographer there and a videographer there. And he's like, I think you might recognize someone down there. So I turned to look, and I'm like, I don't know those people. This is the photographer, videographer. And then out of the bushes in a long black coat, because it's raining and freezing, looking like an axe murderer, is my mom. So my mom gets out of the bushes and she's like, I've been in Central Park in this coat for 2 hours, and that's the Rock from Law and Order where people always die. Like, it was fantastic. So my mom had a gift for me, and it was a shirt that he had made that said fiance, like Beyonce, but fiance. And I have pictures of that. I'll insert all of those photos here. And so, yeah, I opened the gift and we all went to the 99-cent pizza shop and got a large pizza.
Some of the best
pizza we have ever had the first time we ate that day, and we went back up to the hotel and started planning the wedding. And that is our story of how we got engaged. And I'll insert as many pictures and videos and stuff as I can. I hope you guys enjoyed that story. My memory card is flashing at me 0 minutes, so I'm gonna hop off and start editing this, and then we'll go find the bear, and this vlog will be it. That'll be it for the vlog. This has 0 minutes, so I'm gonna tell you that the bear's up here really quick and we're gonna eat it. Okay, bye. Get bear, eat bear, get bear. Bear was broken, we each get half. Bye.
Bye.